Yo, 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 what up, everybody? This is the Stirfry with Chef T and Will the Spacekid.
Yo, what's poppin', y'all?
All right, this is our first episode of the podcast. We got a special treat for you today. We are going to talk about social media. All right, so let's kind of get into the pros and cons, Will, of like social media and kind of our outlook on that.
Okay, so as far as like pros and cons, I guess, I don't know, it's a lot of just faking going on social media because, I mean, you can be whoever you want to be, so people take advantage of that.
Yeah, they kind of like cultivate their own image. They want people to think they're having a better life than they actually are, which is also having an effect on people that are just sitting in their room and scrolling through.
See, I think it's different scenarios. Like, you got the people that, when I say, like, fake it, they're not even just faking, like, good moments. Like, they're literally faking who they are. Like, I don't know if you ever, like, made a Tinder or something, but say, you know, you looking for a chick and it's a dude. Like, that's like above and beyond faking just a like good moment. Like,
you're catfish shit.
You're faking a whole person, whole identity, and, you know, it's just, it's bad. Like, it's bad. Like, I don't know, like, people are literally faking entire identities.
Yeah, and that's not, I mean, that can't be good for like your, like psychologically, like to even go through that. The person that is doing that must have something wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you fake an entire identity to the point where, you know, if you're if you're a dude and you're talking to No, let me take that back. Yeah, if you're a dude and you're basically, you know, talking to another dude and you're pretending to be like, you know, this hot chick, you definitely have a mental problem.
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong there.
Like, you're pretending to be a whole different person that you're not. You're misleading, and you're getting some type of sick satisfaction out of that. Like, you have an issue. You have like, you know, mental health issue or something.
Exactly, and that going off that, just the fact that that's happening, and then think about even just faking it within your life. Like, people are consistently faking it on Instagram. Whether it's they're trying to do that,
definitely.
Or whether it's trying to say, hey, my life is nothing but travel and fun. Like, you're bullshitting. You know, you're like, people are feeling bad. Like, I'm stuck in between of this. Like, all right, you can cultivate your.
I do think it's levels. Life. I think the whole point of Instagram is for you to show us the good part of your day. So it's okay, but it's also levels of showing us the good part of your day. So I don't have a problem if you show me, you know, every time you travel and every plane ticket. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem when you create moments that don't exist. So, for example, if I hit up all my friends and like, hey, can I borrow like, you know, all of your plane tickets? And I just show people the cities and not the dates and be like, yeah, I went to all these places in a year. I have a problem with that. But if you're on Instagram and you're showing me like, hey guys, I went to Atlanta, I went to LA this year. It's been a big year for me traveling. You know, more power to you.
Yeah, I guess there's no harm in like the truth. Like, they're like, because you don't want to show everyone the shitty parts of your day. And if it's truthful, if you're being truthful in what you post, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So it's all about just more so like, if you're showing me facts and it happened and this is really you, I have no problem with it. But if you're constantly lying, constantly creating moments that don't exist, that's when I have a problem with it. And I feel like that's one of the problems with social media. People create so many moments that never happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and what does that cause? It just causes it to get further and further into it, you know? And I feel like those type of people, though, are the people that actually are depressed and are like, you know, they need everyone's approval and stuff like that. And I think that's why they do it, because they want to act like they're better than other people and to that nature. I think that's a big con. But I mean, I also think social media does have some like pros to it.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely pros.
I mean, like, it's a tool that you can connect with more people than you ever could before.
One of the huge pros is keeping up with people. So I literally have people that follow me. We met in the first grade, people that I met, you know, in high school, people that I met in college, and I have all these people in one network. You know, I just type in their name and it pops up, or, you know, they might have, you know, some name they created, but I remember it naturally and I'm able to just keep up with these people for, you know, I mean, who's to say, like, maybe the rest of my life, I don't know, but I've known some of these people I've kept up with for more than 10 years of my life.
Yeah,
and we haven't seen each other. Some of these people we literally have not seen each other in 10 years. So it's just amazing.
And I think it like lets you reconnect and like think of all the family members that you're not in contact with, like the family members.
Yeah, definitely.
Out in
I have so much
and
family out of town. You know, they might live down south and we don't see each other, but I can like their picture. I can know what's going on in their lives. I can see that they just had, you know, kids, different things like that. So It's just amazing that you can do that.
Yeah, because think about before, you have a telephone, but how often are you going and calling all these people?
Yeah, honestly, if it was just up to a telephone, there's so many people I would not know what's going on with their lives.
Exactly.
And I mean, I say that from more just like a family standpoint. Like, you want to know what's going on with family members, but sometimes it just reaches this awkward space where I don't know, for some people, you just can't call them. You can't call them, you can't text them. But I think social media made it a space where, like, you know, I haven't talked to you in 3 years. I don't need a favor from you, but I see you posted that picture. I can reconnect just off of this picture. Like, hey, DM your number. Let's talk. And it, you know, I think it creates a space where people can have courage to talk to some of their relatives that they just normally wouldn't.
Yeah, and I think it just definitely like connects you into a way that's never been done before, and because I wouldn't talk to I wouldn't be as close with my relatives as I would.
Even video call. Video call is huge. I mean, I'm big on video call. I don't know about yourself, but the fact that I can video call anybody off of Instagram or Facebook that I know is dope. So it's just like, okay, you know, I don't have your number, but hey, I could press video call. You can answer it or you can decline it. Okay, you decide to answer it. Hey, you know, what's going on? How have you been? I saw you just released your new book, or I see you doing big things with your, you know, your video network, you know, anything. I mean, whatever, you know, people want to do. And I noticed those some things, and sometimes I just, you know, contact people like, hey man, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. And just have that split second like contact. Like you can see them face to face without being in the same room or anything like that, which is truly amazing. And even going into the sense of it's good for marketing even. So whether it puts you in like in connection with these family members and stuff, but it puts you in connection with people that could be your future employers, your customers. I mean, it opens up a whole range of just networking opportunities in general that I think is like really amazing. And if you could figure out how to properly use it, I think it's a powerful tool, you know?
Yeah, music is definitely, just one huge example. So I could get booked for a show, get video footage for that show, post it, and then promote it. And somebody else could book me for a show based off of the crowd's reaction.
Yep.
And that's because of social media. Where before, what people would have to do is either you would have to get lucky enough to stumble upon a TV show, or you would have to put your shows on DVDs and hunt the people down. Now I have a network of people I've already created, and they just see it. They can see it and they can make choices.
Yep. And even having the option to like promote to kind of reach those type of people.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. For the viewers or the listeners right now tuned in. When we say promote, it usually depends on. I guess promote can mean a couple things. 'Cause like you literally have like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter promotion where you can create a campaign and your targeted audience that you're looking for.
Right.
But you literally have like the aspect of just promoting. Once you posted any type of content, you already decided to promote your followers. But yeah, so
that's step one in the process. Yeah.
But you can literally create a promotion campaign, which is pretty dope.
Which again, like you wouldn't be able to reach these people without it.
Yeah, so like, literally I could create a promotion campaign for people in Chicago. Chicago is a couple hours away, and I might not have that money to fill up my gas tank and drive to Chicago or be able to afford that plane ticket. But I want people in Chicago, to see me and know who I am. And I press a couple buttons on, the social media of my choosing, and I have a select amount of funds and I can reach people. Like it's amazing that I can even do anything like that.
Think of the context of a few years ago, how would you reach that audience? You'd have to physically be there, or you only like these big corporations would have the power to put commercials out and have the money to do that.
Literally, I would have to drive there.
Yep.
It's a couple of tolls to get into Chicago. I don't know if, at least from Ohio, I don't even think you can even get around those tolls. Actually,
No, there's no way.
So it's no way to get around those tolls. But there's a couple tolls to get to Chicago, and I mean, of course, you don't want to just be there. You're gonna obviously want to like spend the night, do some other things. So I mean, that mission would cost money. Like you would need funds to even plan anything like that. But now we have the opportunity.
Yeah, you can throw a few dollars in and
literally a few dollars.
Be able to reach like hundreds of people instantly.
Like you can do a $5 ad and reach about 1,100 people. I mean, from those 1,100 people, they kind of got to decide, what they want to do, if they want to keep watching or how they want to go about it. But you can reach that 1,100 view, and if your content is dope, I mean, you'll get a nice response.
Yeah, you'll get and I've seen that even with our content, like posting with our content is people see quality and people see that effort. Like when you're promoting stuff, make sure that's something that you really want to have out there. And something that you really think is valuable. And if someone's scrolling through Instagram, what's going to make people click on that? You got to make sure it's super valuable and that they'll want to see that and want to kind of be make them.
So a huge tip I kind of want to just throw out there: cover is big.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't even know like what the meaning of cover is when I say it. But so when you post a picture or you post a video, you have an option to change the cover. And
we're talking about video here, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah. I mean, even if you have a couple pictures in a line, because a lot of people don't just post one picture anymore. Some people post 7 pictures or 5 pictures.
Yep.
So whether it's picture or visual, you have the option to change that cover to this is the sparking moment. People are scrolling and you're gonna make them stop. So I would definitely recommend always change that cover and never ever allow that cover to just be a black screen.
That is the biggest mistake.
Because I'm telling that black screen is the most disappointing thing, and that's like when you notice like, man, I wonder why people didn't click this video. It's because you don't have a good cover.
Yeah, it's because it's not engaging. People want something that's gonna catch their eye.
And I say a couple things that like a lot of people either like bright colors. Or I would say a lot of people also like to see other people. A girl is always a plus. And I say this because, so here's one thing about society. We always know, like if you see magazines, you see commercials, you see anything like that. People like girls because the thing is girls are interested in girls. And dudes are interested in girls. It's a phenomenon about society.
Yeah, it's a
it's not me being biased, not me being sexist. It's just a common fact. So when if you can get a girl in your cover, you're more likely to have views.
Yeah.
I just think it's accurate.
I mean, I think it goes back to the idea of it's all knowing who you want to target, right? It's like who do you want to target? And what is your content that you're trying to reach this audience with?
Right. That's also too. That's also another thing in picking your cover. It also depends on your audience. Your audience could you could have an entire different audience.
Yeah. So like if I'm making a music video, if we have a music video coming out, we want to choose the cover with the most interesting and like crazy cover because that's what our audience are. People that listen to rap music, they listen to these crazy videos. They watch these crazy videos, and we want them to be like, oh, this is something different, opposed to all the other stuff they see.
So that's another thing too about social media. Originality can take you so far. Yeah. A lot of people, it's not that they were the smartest person in the world. It's not that they know everything or they knew the right people. A lot of times it's the fact that they were the first to kind of niche on an idea. So one thing I remember that was huge was Tyler, the Creator, coming out. So Tyler, the Creator, he dropped Yonkers. I know it was a while ago, but he dropped Yonkers, and it was so big because, it's this kind of like black and white video, and you see him eating a cockroach, and it hasn't been done. It's like this type of vibe hasn't been done. It hasn't been seen, and especially not on a mainstream level of like a dude eating a cockroach. So when he does it, it freaks people out. It gets people going. It gets people talking about it, and it hits hard.
And like the whole thing with Tyler, the Creator, is he's different. Everything about him is original. Like, I mean, he goes for that. You think that should be a music video? Well, I'm gonna make it Totally different.
But I guess to kind of reflect on times now, the baby is hot because he's original. Like when you look at the Suge video, it doesn't look like other rappers' videos. It might look like he's influenced by older rappers, maybe people like Busta Rhymes or, you know, people like that in the past, but it doesn't line up with like every average Joe video. Everything is always creative about it. And Suge isn't just the only song, you know, that's really creative. It's like all of his videos. You can see a story, you can see a plot, you can see the creativity that goes into it. Yep. And I think he mainly uses a company called Real Goats. I don't know if that's specifically his company or his friends, but it seems like they're working with him and they're making great content every time.
And that's like the thing I see with, I think that's a problem in even mainstream video, like music videos, is that they're not being original. Half the shit I see is all just the same, you know, same car.
Yeah, so, I mean, one thing about society and music videos is a lot of people usually go with what works. And what works is we go to LA, it's hot outside, we get 20 women outside, a swimming pool, and we make a video. And that's your basic video, honestly.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it works and it draws people interest, but I like the risk takers. I like the people that say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to drop a creative video and they're going to like it because the story makes sense and the content is dope.
Again, yeah, and exactly. And I think that's the thing with smaller people that are making this content too, is like you can't even afford that beach house and stuff. So how are you going to make it different? How are you going to make yourself stand out? And having something that's creative and original will allow you to kind of, you know, get up there with the same artists that are making this type of stuff. Work with what you got and be creative with what you have, you know, and that goes with social media.
Right. You don't need the biggest budget. You just need the biggest mindset of just, you know, I can do it. I'll figure it out. I'll go to the dollar store and get these different pieces, whatever those pieces might be. I can't tell you what those pieces are going to be because you're your own creator. But, you know, I'm telling you, the dollar store, Walmart, you know, Target, places like this, they have those tools and those resources that you're going to need.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, and again, it's using what you have, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. There's options, and you don't have to buy the best stuff in that. You know, you don't have to go online and buy the best fucking lighting kit to make a cool music video, or, you know, have the best camera to make a music video. Just go out and make it with what you got. Be creative, and eventually you'll be able to differentiate yourself to the others. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really the big deal. And that goes with Instagram. It's like, how do you promote yourself when you're making different stuff? Well, you're targeting people. You're making sure the cover kind of exemplifies what the video's about and who you're targeting. And that'll naturally get people to come to you, your YouTube, all that stuff.
One thing is also understanding the differences between social medias. Mm-hmm. So the differences between social medias also separates content drastically. And I mean literally drastically. So what you have to understand is Twitter is a lot less sensitive, but it's still sensitive. So Twitter is the place, you know, you want to talk about politics, you want to talk about, you know, your opinions, and you're going to have people that have a lot of negative things to say, but it's okay. You're not going to get reported, you're not going to lose your page. I mean, unless you know you do hit those points, but you have a lot more freedom on Twitter. Instagram and Facebook, they're not really safe places. You will literally lose your page. They will, like, it's literally a report option. Like, people will report you if you're not, you know, if you're just being negative, or you're you know, you're saying different comments that you know you shouldn't. Instagram and Facebook are not those places for you. Snapchat, I mean, it's a lot of freedom. You kind of do your story in peace usually, or you send it to specific people. You know, I don't know how many people you have that watch your story, but you send it to those specific people, and those people are usually cool. Tumblr is like really, really free if you really want to express yourself, do whatever. I
mean, like we were talking about earlier, though, even the differences between these apps and how people use them, because like Instagram again, you're cultivating an image for yourself. You're cultivating what you want people to see.
Right.
Snapchat, you're doing all the shit that you wouldn't normally post it for everyone to see. You're posting you at a party. You're posting you smoking or some shit. Like,
I kind of think it's a couple things. So Twitter is more open to the reader. So it's the fastest source of news, and it's more of either a video spreading moment, or it's a more, I read this joke and it was so funny I have to show somebody else. Like, I don't know how somebody arranged this. Like, this person isn't even funny. I know this person, they're never funny, but they typed this funny moment. Instagram is more so direct visual. Like, I make skits. I want people to see my jokes. I'm now considered an Instagram comedian. I make these 1 minute funny moments. I organize it. I also organize my pictures. I'm really good at filters, or I have a photographer and they take great pictures of me and I want everybody to see this. I can even become a model. And then you have Snapchat, where I feel like it's gritty. Like, Snapchat is the gritty moment. That's the moment of the days. Like, you just want people to see the real you. And you want, like you said, you do. A lot of people use it to do bad stuff. A lot of people use it to do stuff they wouldn't know. They wouldn't show their grandmother.
Yeah, like
that's just how it is. Like,
you wouldn't add your mom on Snapchat or some shit like that. Like, you go there to kind of be free, and all these other social medias are kind of I mean, even Twitter, it's cultivated to a certain image that you want to put out. But I think it's more like people be saying some dumb ass shit on Twitter. So like, however you want to do it. I think Instagram's the most cultivated. Facebook's a little more freer.
I feel like a lot of the captions aren't even people's thoughts. It's like, I can hear a cool song, boom, added the caption, cool. Twitter, see, when you say people say a lot of dumb stuff, you see how people think. And when you see people think, I don't know, you're able to form different opinions. So, we can go and see the same concert, and we could both get on Twitter and express our thoughts, and they could be completely different, which is so crazy. Like, we paid for the same concert, we bought the same row, but we saw a whole different experience. And I'm like, dang, I didn't even see that. You said the security guards got into a fight. I was too busy, I don't know, like anything, like just watching the concert.
Yeah. And I mean, and you can see, so I remember originally Twitter's just like people just saying stuff about their day.
Yeah.
And I mean, it kind of still is going on with that, and you get to kind of like see what people do think about certain topics. That's why it can be a risky source, like of like what people are saying. But I mean, I think Twitter has allowed you to even go viral quicker because people are talking, people are sharing their ideas.
I think the other thing that's like, as far as like having a Twitter being a pro, is just the engagement moments. So whether you're watching the Super Bowl with all of your friends, or you're watching the NBA Finals, or even just an award show, Twitter is huge. So, you could put the hashtag, add it to the comment, and like so many more people see it. Like, you got 100 people just like read your tweet, you're feeling cool about it. Or you're just engaging, literally having a ball, just like, oh man, I can't believe this is like the biggest moments in like sports history for somebody. You don't know how old people are, or to them it might be just the biggest sports moment because that's their favorite team. So a couple things like that. So you're literally having an engagement party on your phone. Is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and dude, some of the best stuff comes from like the threads of Twitter.
Yes,
dude, people are funny.
And then even to think like, social media is so big, like we literally have people running for the president having campaigns arguing on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, literally, like, the president or soon-to-be president is going to, they're going to create their campaign on Twitter. They're going to trash talk each other. They're going to tell us, like, this person sucks. In 2005, this is what they did. Look, I got the info. I got the pictures. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's really nuts how it even kind of expands so much farther from like just normal TV to now all these different platforms. People are arguing on Twitter. I mean, well, Twitter's just full of political arguments, and so is Facebook. But the good thing is that they're reaching people, and people are making their opinions of these people so quickly because you can see
Facebook.
You know, do we really want to go into Facebook right now?
Facebook is an interesting community. So you kind of it's kind of scary. So you're on there, and somehow you done requested your boss, your grandmother is on there, your little sister is on there, all in one place, and you're just like, oh, I would post that, but I can't. Oh, I would post that, but my job might fire me.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna post that now. So it's kind of like you create this, you know, goody two-shoe image that does not exist. It's not you. Like, and I see people do it all the time. Like, they have their professional picture. They have, you know, they only post clean stuff like, hey, just read 3 books today.
Yeah,
and
they
like,
only post.
It's not you. Like, I know you. And they're a whole different person on Snapchat. Whole different person.
Oh, yeah. They'll be like, oh, yeah, just got the honor roll for college. I got an internship. Then that same night they're going out twerking with their friends, like at the bar, like the club.
It's reality.
I mean, but that's the thing is like, so Facebook, you are cultivating an image, but it's more aimed towards, you know, kind of family. I feel like it's a very family.
I think it's aimed towards family and also just the fear of like, this is the one job slick through.
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't always like that, but it became that. A lot of jobs and a lot of companies, you know, they invested in Facebook. Like they want direct information and to be able to find stuff like you even delete it and it happens.
Yeah. I mean, they can find that easily. And I mean, it is good to kind of say life events on Facebook. Like, I mean, you can post stuff like that to Twitter and stuff, but I feel like you get the most engagement through Facebook. People really like enjoy. I mean, like I enjoy seeing someone do good things in life and seeing that on Facebook. And I think family members keep them up to date. I do think it's good, but I think there's like definitely.
I mean, so I do think it's good to have like a variety of different styles of social media.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's different moods during different days and there's different things that you do. And because we have these separations, you know where to find, you know, information on different people. Yeah. Or even, you know, like where to post it yourself so people can find that information. Like, you know, a lot of people might have a community of people that look up to them or just family members. So when you post stuff, you know, they know where to find it.
People get influenced by that. Yeah. So yeah, you have your little cousin on Instagram. You're not going to want to go post pictures of you at a club getting blacked out drunk. Like you're not going to want to post that. You know that you have these people watching you. So you are gonna have, which is I think is good. Like I think you shouldn't have just all these pictures of you out there doing dumb shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously that's stupid because later in life it might come to bite you in the ass. So it is good to have that separation. Like Snapchat, it goes away in a day. Whatever, it's done with. You know, you only have people. You can choose who sees your story, and you can like turn that on just for the night, or you can, you know. There's definitely a separation, which is good, which is needed, or else Instagram will be getting real ratchet, you know. Instagram story will be getting a little crazy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But even on Instagram story, though, what is your thoughts on Instagram story and like how people use that? I think it's not too crazy right now.
I think the story is pretty. I think the story is pretty. It's more created than it is on Snapchat. Like I think Snapchat moments happen, but for some reason, I think the way people were already using Instagram, like people make their stories like 3 or 5 times, and they want them to be on point. And also a large group of people have been using Instagram longer than Snapchat, so their fan base is bigger on Instagram. Yeah. Because Instagram was out first. So to those people, it's like, well, man, this is where most people see me. And so I have to just like, it has to be good. It has to be perfect. It has to be on point. Oh, man, what filter am I going to use? Oh, yeah. Where I think Snapchat, they might do the same, but I think Snapchat is just more real. It's more authentic, more genuine.
Yeah, you just take out your phone, you open up Snapchat, you hit that record button. It's quick, it's easy. You know, that's the main focus of the app. I think Instagram... Yeah, you're maybe posting stuff that you might not normally post to your your normal feed,
Right.
your normal Instagram. And I think
Thanks.
that's sweet though, because it allows you, like, if I take a bunch of pictures of, I go out with the photographer, take a bunch of pictures, and I post one to Instagram, one or two to Instagram, right? I'm not gonna want to post the same picture again, like in a few weeks of the same outfit I was just wearing.
Definitely.
Then I get those extra pictures I think are cool, and I get to post those on to story, maybe make it a little more engaging, and keep people up to date. Because I have realized that Instagram stories, people fuck with Instagram stories. They look through it just as much as they do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It definitely has a power in itself.
Another thing I really like is the music feature. I feel like the music feature is so
that's hard,
dope.
yeah.
So, I could post a picture and I could find a cool song, and then people are like, "Oh yeah, this is pretty dope." And I saw that picture you posted. And they're more likely, I feel like, to remember the song, remember the picture because it was music playing behind it.
I mean, I think a story has more of an impact on the idea of like memory, like people really sticking to them, because you could slide through stories, but like when you're clicking through multiple stories of one person, it's you're like kind of visualizing their account and like what.
Yeah.
What
Also,
they
the
have.
other thing is like we have friends.
Content-wise.
They really do interesting stuff, so we want to see it. And we go and like, oh, hey, let me go check so and so's story. Let me see what they're doing. And you're like, okay, they're still working, they're still grinding hard. Still got a dream, still doing their business. And you're like, oh yeah, this is dope. And then the fact that you can even support your friends by posting their content in your story,
That's
which is dope as well.
That is big, yeah. Because don't get me wrong, that's the thing that's hard, because I'm not going to go out of my way and like post someone else's video on my channel if it's not my work,
Yeah.
So that allows me to help everyone else and promote their stuff while also keeping my account nice and clean and cut to what I want.
Exactly.
So yeah, it does open that big door for you and for everyone, because that's way more people posting your song, They could post that to Snapchat, but I don't think it has the same engagement as Instagram.
That's the other thing too. Just the different things that could happen from a story. So, I could text 5 friends and have them, post my song in their story. Each one of them could have 200 different people watch their story.
Yeah.
And 1,000 people based off of 5 text messages that I made.
Right.
Like, so social media is like really amazing, and just the options and capabilities that can happen.
Because that's like that you're that much closer to 200 different, like, to each account having 200 different viewers than yours, your story, and that's more likely that they're gonna click on your account or see your content. So that's already, like we were talking about promotion without actually promoting, without actually having to pay ad dollars.
Right.
Like that's a great opportunity. Like that's just great to have. That creates engagement on your page. People like the song, like, because it instantly plays. People fuck with the song. They're that much more likely to go on your account. They're that much more likely to go on Apple Music and download your stuff.
Exactly.
It's those steps, and it's free. You just have a couple of your buddies and post your stuff. I post your stuff,
Definitely.
Chris James stuff, Mark's, everyone.
Right.
And it lets you know that you are supporting them and also advertising for them. So I think that's pretty amazing. So where do you kind of see, like, since we're in such a social media phase, where do you kind of see it going from here?
So I think social media is definitely here to stay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, where do I see it? I think Facebook is going to just dress it up different. I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, but I can see a new kid having an idea. I think Facebook is probably going to buy that company and be able to stick around. Or Facebook has so much money to just have people create something new that I think they're going to move forward. They're here to stay.
Yeah, I think obviously Facebook will probably be fine.
I also think like the investment in Instagram was definitely great on Facebook's behalf. Just
Smart move.
just in case, like let's just make sure we want to reach all the crowds we can. Now, as far as just that all around new social media, none of the CEOs that we currently see, I'm ready. I want to see what
What's
somebody can
next?
create. Just like, I mean, I'm pretty sure like it's just beyond my imagination.
Yeah,
Like I can remember when I was on, things like even like a MySpace. Like you look at the MySpace platform and you seen where Facebook kind of started dominating, and then from like Facebook
yeah, I
dominating
remember
to,
that.
hey, okay, let's get on Twitter, and then Twitter opening you up to, hey, let's start doing Instagram, let's start doing Snapchat, and things just elevating. It's been a huge elevation. So I'm ready to see like what that creative person can make.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely. I don't think the idea of social media is going to change. Like, I think it's going to be the same kind of ideas, which is content, like putting content. I don't know what it's going to turn into, but I think it's going to have the same basic principles that we kind of see now, and maybe we'll be surprised with what someone comes up with because there's fucking geniuses out there. But I definitely see it being even more vital in the future.
Definitely.
Like, I think that
Definitely.
it's not going to change. It's here to stay. And
So
if you don't figure out how to use it properly, like you need to figure out how to use it now so that in
one
the
thing that I
future
think
you'll be all right.
I see as a game changer would be, I think Twitter and Instagram will eventually have attachments. So right now you can DM people, but you can't like put like a huge drastic file inside of the DM, the Twitter DM or Instagram DM. And I
Right.
think that's going to eventually happen, and that's going to be like, oh yeah, we got to keep these apps around a little bit longer, man. Like that's a cool feature they just added.
Yeah. I definitely think I think there's ways to improve the social media that's out now, but I mean it's inevitable. Something new's going to come around, blow it out of the water, or challenge Facebook, and
Definitely,
Twitter.
definitely.
But I definitely think Facebook and Twitter, and I mean in Instagram because Facebook owns Instagram, obviously. But I definitely think those variations will still be there. Variations of both of those will still be there because those are two distinct things. You go to Twitter for. I mean, Instagram is just you're scrolling through content. You
Right,
get to visually see the content, whereas Twitter is more. You're hearing people's ideas. You're seeing all kinds of different types of content within this. It's not just like someone's tweet. It's like a photo, a video. You're kind of getting all together just in Twitter,
right,
and it's fast. It's quick. Whereas Facebook's kind of filled with. There's a lot more advertising. There's a lot more going on Facebook. It's not as clean cut as Instagram and Twitter.
right.
But I think they'll definitely stay and be around for a long time, and maybe they'll just change names or make a new kind of idea, in social media. But I definitely think those people will be around. Also, what do you think is kind of the effect that social media has had, for you personally?
Me personally, I feel like it's definitely helped so much. It's a lot of people I've been able to keep in contact with. It's a lot of people I've been able to meet. I also see a lot of flyers to different music events, different concerts that I wouldn't have knew about, or I might have found out at the last minute. So I feel like social media allows me to prepare. It's so much going on, just across Ohio as far as musically that I can go to. Like I can see a flyer in Columbus for a DJ battle, and I could decide, hey, this DJ battle is next month. I'm thinking about going.
Right.
Versus, in the past, it was like if those people didn't come with flyers, I just didn't go.
Yeah, you didn't know about
I
it.
didn't know about it, so I didn't go.
Yeah. No, I definitely think all those is kind of it definitely has an impact. Social media definitely has impact. For me personally, I think it has helped me kind of grow my brand and kind of, it's not where I want it to be just yet, but I think it's also allowed me to to grow, to meet people, to network, for people to see my content and stuff like that. I think it's very important, but I also see a flip side to it where it's had a negative impact. Sometimes, I know me personally, it kind of, the comparison thing. I'll see someone else's content, maybe I'll be discouraged a little bit, but there's ways to overcome that. But I think that has a big factor on what people create.
I saw something. It was crazy. I think I seen it like 2 months ago. So it said, money is not the root of evil anymore. Comparison is.
Yep.
And
I see that.
When I seen it, I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, why would somebody even write that down or put that phrase together? And I really got to thinking about it, like, man, they might be on to something. Because
definitely,
you naturally end up comparing. It could be anything. Like, you get out of college and you see your friends, and one friend is making $400K a year, and you're like, dang, man, I wish I was making that. Like, I must have did something wrong. Or, you see these different people, and they have a luxury car, and you don't even know, like, how they got that car or what they had to go through. And we often compare so much and so often when we just shouldn't. We should just care about our lives and, work with what we have so we can become the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't. I think that's something people need to realize, though. I think sometimes people don't sit back and realize it. Like, lately, I've been I wake up in the morning and I don't go on social media until after I get, done with breakfast and stuff. Okay. I want my first thing to be about myself, right, about my day. And I think that's important for people to know that. There's a healthy amount of social media that you should be consuming. You shouldn't be over-consuming social media, because unless you can really sit and acknowledge that, here are the problems that can occur from it. You get that comparison syndrome, maybe that depression that you have, maybe it's stemming from something on comparison, on seeing people that are doing big things and you feel like you're not. But I feel like the reality is there's time. There's so much time people have that you shouldn't compare yourself to anybody else. You should focus on yourself. And if you find that being a problem, take a break from social media. It'll always be there.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's another thing people need to really realize, is that just because, say you take a week break from social media, mm-hmm, you can get on there. People aren't going to be like, oh no, where did this person go? And people don't care about you anymore. That's false. I think that people will always be there to kind of see your stuff. So no one's gonna think it's a big deal if you take a break. If you need it for yourself, then do it. Stop comparing yourself to other people. I mean, I know it's inevitable as humans, but if you can realize that you are comparing yourself and the reasons why you are, then maybe you can figure out a little bit about yourself and how you use social media, and to see the advantage of social media. I realized that I was comparing myself, so what I did was I changed my habits. And I focused more on posting my content than consuming it. Right. And I think as creators, we kind of need that, that kind of balance.
Yeah, you definitely need to focus on creating your own content, figuring out how you're going to be original and what makes you different. And I think a lot of people, that's what they need to do. Just focus on themselves and move forward.
Yeah, I think that is the most important thing. I think focus on yourself, and you'll find that originality.
Definitely. You're going to definitely find your own niche. You're going to definitely find what works for you the more and more you focus on yourself.
Yeah. And maybe even about comparisons, you can be influenced. Maybe turn that comparison to an influence. Definitely. It's oh, I don't have that nice car, and I really want that nice car. How can I better my life and figure out how to get that car?
Right.
Don't turn into I'll never get that, or I'll never be like that. Figure out ways to really put it in place to get that. And I think that's really the power of social media, and I think that's really what it's about.
Exactly.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's a good point to end this podcast. Thank you all for watching. I'm Chef T.
I'm Will the Spacekid.
and keep it real.
Yep, for sure.
Hey everyone, I just realized I said watching instead of listening, so thank you all for listening. And all this music in this podcast was created by Steve Ozell. So shout out to him, he's very talented. Y'all should check him out on streaming platforms at Steve-O Music. All the E's in his name are 3s. Also, if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. We'd greatly appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you guys next Tuesday where we talk about streaming services. It's going to be a good one, so you don't want to miss it. Alright, have a good one, everyone.